Right now, we're going to focus on the matchup between the Spooky Menagerie and Portland Sabbatical, which I gotta be honest, those are like some really quality team names. So I don't know if they just like threw that into a
Honestly.
random number generator or what, but I'm pretty pleased with that.
Yeah, I want to figure out where exactly they came up with those team names. But either way, we are in the game right now. We're going to be playing on Oni Village. Looks like we're going to be having Spooky Menagerie on the blue side and Portland Sabbatical on the red side. Very excited to see these two teams. This is going to be a really interesting match. No ban coming out on the side of Spooky Menagerie.
Yeah, I do find that to be a little bit interesting. The Juliet ban on the other side, you could see Wallaby Gangsta did have that one lined up in pre-pick, so perhaps it was a targeted ban. We will see. I'm not really surprised to see a Drakkar here on the side of Portland Sabbatical. I will be honest, and Dubu, that one kind of that one kind of catches me a little bit off guard. And yeah, Vod just pointing out in the background. We do have chat predictions, so if you guys want to go ahead and bet some points, some good old puntos on who's going to take this one, then feel free. Era and X on both sides here. Hamster Quest, Wallaby Gangs are going to go for that X, but we did see the kind of damage that X could do in the last match. So it's going to be, I believe, Dubu against Drakkar on goalie. I definitely seen some Drakkar goalies before. There we go.
Drakkar goalie would make the most sense over something like a Era or an X.
Yeah, I was very worried we're gonna see something like that.
Yeah, seriously, I was gonna be very shocked. The Dubu goalie out coming out from Boo, very early goal post coming out. Not the best thing to see right away, but we'll see if they're gonna be able to turn it around.
Already that molten bolt coming out there for Reznok on the Drakkar in the goal, of course. It is going to be a little bit of extra midfield presence for them. But we talked about how snowball-y X can be, so I wonder if we're going to see that kind of a story this time around. Fudgy Waffle's going to be on Era up top. No, down low. It's not good enough, though. They're going to try with the Maelstrom now, and the dunk's not quite there. Still somehow the winning the strike war is the defense here for Spooky Menagerie. But Spoo 20K is doing a fantastic job of getting it out, using the somersault to stall that core out and get it out.
There is so much pressure happening on that side of Spooky Menagerie. It's kind of looking a little scary there, but it does look like that they're able to relieve it some now. Now we've got some core flips that are going to be available, but it does not look like it'll be enough as that floats its way into the corner.
Some core flips, but no abilities for Dubu. And unfortunately, that's going to go through. I will say, though, it did look like it was going to be a bit of a landslide there instantly off the bat. So it's a nice little, I guess, turnaround there for Spooky Menagerie, definitely proving that they can play some solid defense. I mean, we have seen You Already Lose, I think, really opened my eyes to how quality of a goalie Dubu can be. And then, of course, Mystic came in the booth and let me know that Dubu actually does have a pretty good win rate at the higher levels. So I'm excited to see what kind of mechanical techniques we see here from Boo 20K. They will lose that shield bearer on the top. That's not necessarily unexpected. Wallaby Gangsta's having a bit of a difficult time in terms of HP, and they will use the Corville alongside the Bull Rush to try to get this one through the Maelstrom. Doesn't get it done. Hamster Quest with Corville available, but pops it too early. They've lost Wallaby Gangsta now too, and this could get difficult.
This is going to be a very scary situation for Spooky Menagerie. The core flip is going to be coming out on the red side, and it does not look like it's going to be finding anything. The dueling core flip, nothing to come out of it at this point in time. They're able to keep things alive and stay alive during that power play, just what you want to see. Boo is being absolutely incredible on that Dubu.
Well, they do get debuffed here just a moment. It really shouldn't have any significant impacts. The Tofu actually putting it back into the zone. They will lose their last shield bearer. Wallaby Gangsta against Reznok. They're not able to find that Strike War victory. Hamster Quest getting bullied out here as well with the X Maximus from a Palme. Only a moment ago. It looks like it's now on cooldown. Boo! Oh, the angle gives them a little bit of a favor. The core came just a little bit back into play. They're still able to defend up top here against Fudgy Waffles and the Maelstrom. And now the cross-up. No! Reznok with that primary fire, the Drakkar. This is a wonderful defensive performance. Nice somersault read.
This is turning out to be the battle of the goalies, and at this point in time, it does look like Portland Sabbatical are going to be the ones holding strong just a little bit better and putting themselves up on a set point.
See Reznok with the Ivy taking notes there. You know, maybe just trying to indicate it's like, hey, we got you on the download, so don't even bother. That Tofu wall's going to cause some problems here for Portland Sabbatical, and that will be shield barrier number 1, keeping that one into the zone, although it goes two ways, it seems. You know, that just seems to be the nature of Oni Village. And what in the world is going on here with Wallaby Gangsta? They are just absolutely annihilated, trying to go man-to-man with a Palme, and now they're off the board.
That's definitely not what you want to have happen on a map like Oni Village. Oh, Reznok getting a nice save with that strike shot. Very, very good play happening there. Like I said, it's Battle of the Goalies coming out here, and that will be Hamster Quest able to sneak it up through the corner, keeping this set alive.
I just saw a little bit on the replay there on the stream I've got up. It looked like Reznok was maybe just a little bit too eager with the strike timing and ended up completely missing, and it was on cooldown when they were actually in range. So that's what we're going to tack up to, a skill issue. And now speaking of, they're having a bit of a skill issue in terms of their shield barriers. This one just bounces off the bottom side. They're not particularly perturbed by it. I suppose they're probably not very happy with the result. You have Tofu Wall up high alongside the Maelstrom, and they are just going in right now. Everybody is in, except for, of course, Boo 20K, who's doing a great job as a goalie in their back end. They're unable to stop that shield barrier going down, but it did provide a lot of valuable time for their teammates to recover. Core flip from across the map is not going to provide any results, but at least should hopefully reset the tempo here. And there will be the dunk. Wallaby Gangsta with the second strike, and we're tied.
Wallaby being in just the right spot, despite Reznok with a beautiful primary up there. Wallaby is able to hit it right up into the corner, and even with Drek being as fast as he is still just not quite fast enough to go all the way across the goalie field by the time the core goes in.
Hope is not lost, though. We've got a core flip available here on Fudgy Waffles. That one will be burned. They do get the shield barrel. Palme trying to use that bell ringer to put Wallaby Gangsta off the map. They are having a massive issue keeping their stagger bar above zero. Whoa, the core flip down on the bottom. I honestly thought that was going to get stuffed, but they found the angle.
Barely managing to sneak it through, and honestly, that's where one of those areas where, as good of a goalie as Boo is, it can be really hard to maneuver the Dubu around the map so as open as Oni Village.
What are you trying to say about Dubu?
He's slow. He's slow. I love him, but he's slow.
He is, yeah. They do get the Primetime, although specialized training on X, and that makes me think stacks on stacks for Reznok and Drakana is going to give him a little bit of extra mobility. No problems there. And I believe, yeah, Era just going to wait, let that one stall out. I think they might have been waiting to see what the X pick was there before they picked that Monumentalist, which is incredibly strong for Era. Obviously, with no haste buffs out on the field either. It does make a lot of sense to make those Maelstroms all the more deadly. And speaking of, guess who's going to take the first fall?
Monumentalist on Era makes her so much scarier. While she's already has such strong core control without any awakenings in general, the Monumentalist just makes her now a KO threat, which is something that she doesn't really have unless you're not paying attention. But now that Monumentalist is there, that thing is huge!
It really is, and Fudgy Waffles having a bad go of it now. We've been seeing a lot of damage on either side, and speaking of Boo, 20K goes down, the perfect timing. A Palme throws it right into the center of the net, and it opens up just in the nick of time. That's 1-0.
That was just so... It just snuck right through there, and it's a beautiful shot there from a Palme, comboing off of the KO. Just what you want to see.
Sheesh. Well, Boo, despite their best efforts, they've been having a bit of a difficult time staying alive in the net. The Palme getting a little bit eager to move upfield. Fudgy Waffles with that Maelstrom as well. And here we see it coming in again. The core just barely gets away before that hitbox is active. And oh, wow, way to play that one with the rollout. They managed to get the core away. Now the somersault on the top side. They can't win the strike war. But still, Boots doing just everything in their power to keep that one away from the shield bearers. And it will see them continue with this advantage. Almost 3 core flips available for their team. What can they do?
Let's see. It's going to be interesting to see how that comes out. Reznok with the primary going up. Nice shot to prevent Wallaby from getting anywhere, but that Maelstrom is very scary, but Boo manages to sneak himself in there. The Tofu Wall coming out to be very aggressive. They're looking to put this one away, but it does not look like it is going to be happening. Fudgy Waffles managing to get the clear, and the core flip not quite going to be able to find anything, but there's still 2 core flips available, as a Palme will be the one to go down.
I love the idea. Wallaby Gangsta not gonna win out in the second strike there. Reznok will get it away. Defensive core flip, and he almost stuffed his Fudgy Waffles, and oh, just barely into the net. The Molten Bolt didn't get the angle Reznok needed. Almost an amazing defensive play, but almost only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades.
Absolutely. That one looking very, very close, and Boo is able to hold on to his core flip to be able now to have it for this point. So that is going to be a pretty key factor here going into this next one. Boo able to play. He's playing a lot more aggressively right now. This is kind of going to be what Spooky wants to see here. One barrier going down on each side.
Spooky Menagerie could really use a resurgence after losing that first set. Of course, we're still tied up here. Wow, I love that patience from Boo. Saw the Xeno Cloak pops and instantly knew that Reznok was going to try and walk forward that one. I believe the Maelstrom assisted Wallaby Gangsta and pushing one off the side there. So now it's going to be an era diff on the field. You talked about the zone control that they can have even without Awakening, so Hamster Quest is going to be doing a lot of work here. Pass up to Wallaby Gangsta, Boo's getting involved. Now Tofu Wall goes up, and they got the shield barrier down.
And then misses a log there, but that will be now the open barrier that Maelstrom is going to be there. Not going to be finding anything for a kill, but it will be providing enough pressure as Wallaby Gangsta will be pushing it in and putting Spooky Menagerie 1 point away from closing out their first set.
Like I said, critical resurgence opportunity here. Apolme went for the empowered special. We talked about how X can be an incredibly powerful striker for snowballing, but after that first Awakening draft, it really doesn't feel like, even though they had first pick of the litter, they didn't really have a massive power spike. So we'll see how things develop, especially if it will be a return to form here for Spooky Menagerie. That's a log does not quite work out. The counter core flip, though, snipes the shield barrier in the top left. That burns Apolme's resources as well. They've got no energy to work with here. And now on zero stagger, they're looking for the KO. Wallaby Gangsta going in on this one, but can they make it happen? Bellringer, everybody just going in on the combat here. It's WM1 man fight on the bottom for X, but eventually they will break each other up. They heard the bell go off, I suppose.
Wallaby almost finds one. Hamster Quest does have his core flip available. He's going to be popping. He's going to be able to sneak it right past, as Wallaby will smack it right in there at the very end. Spooky Menagerie tie up the sets. We're in 1-1.
Ooh, now Wallaby Gangsta has the first pick here. Well, I'm not really seeing anything particularly amazing in there. It looks like Stinger is going to be on offer. I suppose lots of little hits that you could potentially deal as X Maximus could lend itself for a bit of a Stinger play. Missile prop also on offer here. Aerial's going to be pretty good for Drakkar, but will go to the missile propulsion. I got no problems with that. Rapid fire, a little bit of extra debuff time. Thomas Creator. This is all pretty normal stuff. That Thomas Creator actually quite good to deny Dubu as well.
Yeah, it seems to be a lot of standard picks here going out for, honestly, everybody on the team. I think the only one who really did not get the best pick of the litter here is Apolme with that Super Surge. But we'll see how, because I've seen people do some pretty crazy things with the Bull Rush, so I wouldn't count it out quite yet. Oh, that was a nasty Maelstrom.
It was Fudgy Waffles. There you could see the Stinger start to come in, just slowly decaying that remaining stagger that they had, and of course it did punish in the end, and now it's 2 shield barriers down. And it's talk about snowball effects. We're just seeing the snowball effect just in the context of this one volley, and there it is. Winning the Strike Warriors, Hamster Quest, Boo 20k takes the assist.
That rotation from Boo was actually very key in that point. Wallaby being low on stagger, rotates back, Boo moves up, and that point is just pretty much secured at that point.
Yeah, very well played from Hamster Quest as well. It's not impossible to see eras win those kinds of strike wars using the Bewitching Beam as the extra dunk potential. So it was very well played there. Hamster Quest using all the tools at their disposal, and that's how you play Era, folks. So just in case you're trying to take notes, I doubt you are, but if you were, that's how you do it.
Yes, Era is so strong, being so fast, and has so much effect across every single area of the map that she can just be an absolute nightmare for any opposing team. Now we're seeing, hopefully we'll see maybe another barrier come down here, but they're managing to hold strong here.
Yeah, there they go, right off the side. I mean, Era's strong, but not if you're KO'd. So
that's true.
I think it might have just been like a little bit of a lapse in judgment. That Maelstrom did look like it was coming from a mile away, but obviously it was good enough. Core flip popped defensively here by Wallaby Gangsta. It gives Hamster Quest enough time to get back into the game, but losing that shield barrier is not what you want to see.
No. Now we're seeing a 1v1 happening in the bottom. Wallaby is looking like to be winning this out, but it's going to be looking at the cost of his own stagger. Apolme is going to be going down.
Maelstrom, not quite good enough. Looking towards that bottom shield barrier now. I really love this play from Reznok, but loses out on the strike war again. Has to pop the core flip. Does have the cheesy angle, but Boo saw it coming from a mile away. They're not worried about that one so much. Now Wallaby Gangsta is staggered here. There's still opportunity. Oh, that 1-2-3 play! Look at how they weave through the midfield. What a play!
There was no way to be able to predict that one. They were passing it back and forth. They had so many options available for them, and no matter how good of a goalie you are, nothing can beat strong team synergy.
That's the kind of play that you get for the first time in Silver and Q, and you think to yourself like, wow, I'm suddenly in love with this game. Unfortunately, on the side Fudgy Waffles, they're probably not so in love with being carried off the field immediately. Already one shield barrier down, 2 shield barriers make that, and it's looking like there's tempo here now. Or the Spooky Menagerie, can they get this one through? The Maelstrom being popped by Fudgy Waffles. A great return. Oh my goodness, a Palme almost carries right off the side with that Bell Ringer Tofu Wall, critically providing a little bit of neutrality in what looked like it could have been an easy turnaround.
Wallaby is looking very low right now. The core flip is going to be available. Boo with the missed strike is going to be eating that one, unfortunately. Losing both goal barriers. That's a lot of pressure coming out. Hamster Quest going to be popping a defensive core flip, and it does not look like it'll matter as it will be pushed into their goal.
That was an interesting one. I saw it on the replay. It was just the Maelstrom. I got like that one tick of a hit and just kind of throw it way down on the court. That was calculated, by the way. Fudgy Waffles just that good for the Maelstrom.
Oh, absolutely.
Guarantee. It was actually a very good Maelstrom to pressure that core flip. I just think that, you know, maybe they got a little bit more than they were probably bargaining for and scoring that one immediately as opposed to getting tempo. I love that play off the side. Fudgy Waffles, and oh my goodness, they're doing it themselves. That's 3-1.
Wow. They have just turned that one very much around, as that one was looking very, very close all the way throughout the entire set. And then Portland Sabbatical just decides, you know what? We're ready to move on to the next set. And they just push it right in.
Chrono Boost. Chrono Boost on either one of these eras is actually quite nice. And I would not be surprised to see it go first. Unstoppable also an offer. Extra Special going to be very good as well. And will it be Chrono Boost? We do see Chrono Boost after the Extra Special draft. I don't know. What do you think about Fudgy Waffles having that extra Maelstrom immediately off the start? That's going to be quite a significant impact, I feel.
Yeah, especially since Fudgy Waffles did take the Timeless Creator in that last carousel. That is just going to make that Maelstrom so much scarier. Now, especially since now he's got Cast-a-Last, Monumentalist, Timeless Creator, which I've always just considered to be such a dangerous three-piece combo. Look at that Maelstrom! Oh my gosh. I would not want to be on the side of Spooky right now.
Yeah, this looks like it's literally the perfect storm. I mean, go figure, it's a Maelstrom. But, I mean, this is exactly what you want to see if you're an Era player. It's, you know, it does maybe suck a little bit not to have a little bit of extra buff on your haste, as Hamster Quest does. And, oh, actually, Hamster says, all right, your Maelstrom might be powerful, but it's all about placement. Wallaby Gangsta can't win that strike war on the back line. Boo! Trying for the angle. Will be a 1-2 over to Wallaby. And the KO proving to be worth it.
Taking out that Era is huge, especially with one as dangerous as Fudgy Waffles. You have to be able to get her off the map, and we saw it right there. Spooky Menagerie took her out, and then they were able to secure that point through that there.
Yeah, those Maelstroms, oh my goodness.
They're just insanely big.
Oh, insanely big. So is X. Wallaby Gangsta takes out a Palme on the other side. This honestly looks like it's an open and shut case with how consistent we're seeing these KOs suddenly from Spooky Menagerie in this set.
They've found what they needed here to get it done, and it does look like they're going to be able to put that one in. A beautiful core flip there right in the face of Reznok, putting them onto set point. They are on the verge of putting us into set 5. This is exactly what we want to see happen here.
Still best of 1 here in the winner's quarterfinal. You know, moving on to semis is a huge advantage for you. Obviously, because that's just one last round that you have to play in the lower bracket. Or, hey, if you just go through uppers, although it is trio abusers that you're going to have to play into, probably, unless they lose, and then I don't even know. That's going to be a whole different story. But we'll see how things pan out here. That's a wonderful usage of the core flip there to keep that one away from the opposing Maelstrom, again, which is on lower cooldown. It does make you question, though, the resource burn. You know, you always want to try to save it for when it's absolutely necessary, but that's what, you know, I suppose that's what happens.
Oh, man, the fact that that Maelstrom didn't find the corner, that kind of blows my mind. Oh! The cheeky corner there, not quite able to find anything, but Boo is going to be in a dangerous position as that Maelstrom will take him out, and Fudgy Waffles will be able to put that one in, putting them on the board for this set.
Yep, Boo playing a little bit, trying to play at least a little bit cautiously there, but ends up finding themselves in the most dangerous position, I would argue, of all, and that, of course, is not on the board in any way. So, that's going to be an easy pickup there. I mean, Fudgy Waffles has really been doing an amazing job with their Era, and I think that Hamster Quest and Fudgy have both been doing an amazing job of displaying how important it is to... Oh, that was an interesting one with the tofu wall there up on the top. But you know, these Eras are super impactful. You almost saw it there. Hamster Quest on the bottom side will assist in that KO. They've got the shield barrier down. They're looking to push this one to set 5. It's 2 down now. They might even have an ace. Fudgy Waffles the only one left standing here. Wallaby Gangsta going to go, and I don't believe they got anything off cooldown though, and they're just going to take the easy one too. You know, aces are just for a little bit of style. They don't need that in their life.
No, honestly, you really don't need that. But that will now be then Spooky Menagerie putting us into that 5th set. They just went so ham and taking back that set. It was exactly what you want to see. Beautiful play coming out from them.
There's a lot of fun stuff on offer here. Spark of Agi. Wow, was there a single spark for Dubo already? Stagger Swagger is on infinite offer here. I'm not at all surprised to see Resnok take that. Built different, I'm fairly certain that's to deny the opposing X. They do not want any one of the X's to have that one. Stagger Swagger for everybody except for Dubu and Arrow with Fudgy Waffles. This is going to really change the shape of the game. It's been an incredibly KO-heavy match here for Wallaby Gangsta.
This is going to be very interesting. The spark of agility from Boo, I don't know if I necessarily agree with that one, but at the same time, I'm only in high gold, so I'm sure he knows something that I don't.
I mean, at the same time, even if you don't have a Spark of Agi, if there's nothing else really amazing on offer, then a Spark of Agi, that's a flat 10% boost. And like I said, that's only assuming that you don't have any Sparks. It only goes up from there. So you can't ever be mad with that.
That's true, and that was one of the things that I did talk about as Dubu being the biggest weak point, is his speed. So getting that 10% speed boost is going to be huge. Core barriers, or goal barriers, are now going to be evened up here. Palme looking for something. He's going to be able to shove it past. Boo, not able to hold up quite that high of a wall. Palme will be putting his team at 1 point into their match.
Oh boy. We'll see. It's nice to have that goal advantage, but you can never really rest on your laurels, especially if you're in set 5.
Yeah.
But we'll see how things go. Of course, there's immediately one down on the side of the Portland Sabbatical. They're trying to recover from this one. Oh, that's a nice core flip snipe, though.
Absolutely beautiful. I've been noticing that Fudgy Waffles has been using the Bewitching Beam to really try and keep that X small, but it is going to be really hard to do that. Hamster with a very small Maelstrom. Small Maelstroms coming out back and forth. Very well done. Boo is going to be playing forward. This does look like it's going to bite him a little bit, though, as now goal barriers are open on both sides. Wallaby is going to be looking very low. That Maelstrom is going to be pushing it through. Not quite going to be getting anything. But now, Resnok with a beautiful core flip, knocking Wallaby out of there. And that will be this insane angle from a Palme to bring it up.
No, not an insane angle. We call those dirty dangles. That was a nutty shot. I mean, you look like units. You look like in-game units, just barely away. I don't even know if this game works with units or whatever, but you get the idea. You know, they're that close to missing that angle and having that core flip go out the other way. Well, they managed to make it happen, and, well, sometimes you just gotta have the protractor overlaid onto your screen. I'm not saying that they do. That would be quite possible anyway. That's 2 shield barriers down. They need this one back. They are at match point against Sierra. Whoa, Spooky Menagerie almost losing Wallaby Gangsta, and they will go off the side now. This is an excellent opportunity to close out this set and this series. Fudgy Waffles is able to take one off the top, plus the Maelstrom providing loads of tempo. Palme punishing the 2 in the back. They're trying to make it happen right here, right now. Even Drakkar getting involved, and that puts the series away. Fudgy Waffles takes the last goal here. The absolute era diff. They make it happen 3-0 in set 5.
And absolutely crushing set 5 from Portland Sabbatical. The way that they just shut them down, did not let the team do anything. 6 KOs from Hamster Quest on that era. An absolutely ridiculous match there, as Fudgy Waffles will be taking the MVP on that one. A very good game from Portland Sabbatical and Spooky Menagerie.
Yeah, and I mean, even just looking at this KO count for 5 sets, I mean, for this to be only, what, 18 KOs in total, 10 versus 2, or excuse me, not 10 versus 2, 10 versus 8 in favor of the Spooky Menagerie. It does feel a little bit like we had more KOs than I think we ended up seeing. And I feel for the most part that's because of the ability of both these teams to capitalize on the striker advantage. We have seen so many times. One word that I use constantly is tempo, and that's because I really could feel it here. Hamster Quest and Fudgy Waffles, both in, I want to say in particular, but honestly, I'd be lying. Both Fudgy Waffles and Hamster Quest did do a great job as era. We do usually see them tend to be a little bit more midfield, you know, providing supporting pressure, but both of them did an amazing job providing, like, straight up backline pressure against the opponents. And then you had a Palme and Wallaby Gangsta who did the exact same thing. They were getting in the goalie's face. They were making stuff happen on the offensive side. So just a huge shout out to all of the forwards in this game. That's, of course, forced not to leave the goalies out. Boo 20K made some phenomenal efforts. Reznok had some critical saves in front of the net as well. So this was just an all-around well-played game.
Honestly, it was a lot closer. While a lot of these sets were 3-0, 3-1, I think the only one that actually went into the full 5 points was the first set. It still just ended up being so strong from both teams. And honestly, the name of the game came down to those KOs. There really was not going to be anything else. There really was no point that was scored, I think, that didn't have at least a lot of pressure coming from those power plays. So it was honestly, it was a very good set. Super fun to be able to watch and super fun to be able to experience here.
Yep, but that's going to be doing it here for the winners quarterfinal. We do have the winners semi coming up next. So as I recall, Zojulix, you're going to be on your way out of the casting booth here after this one. So you want any last words for the audience before you head off for the night?
Yeah, this is going to be my last match for tonight. Thank you guys so much again for giving me more of these opportunities to be able to be here. It has been an absolute blast to be able to be a part of the Omega Strikers community, from not just playing the game, but also being able to cast here in these tournaments. You can check me out down below. You can see my name, my @ is Twitter, Zojulix. I also stream on Twitch. Check out all of that. Thank you guys again so much. This has been an absolute blast. I love this game, love this community, and this tournament has been absolutely top-notch.
Well, I couldn't have said it better myself. You know, we're just going to go ahead and throw it on over to the break now. Winner semifinal, Surplus Esports and Slops Kittens coming up after this. Stick with us.